Hello and thanks for watching. Over the last 3 weeks we brought you an overview of the BVI and an itinerary that will give you a great sailing holiday in nature's little secrets. We here at Proteus care greatly about your vacations, and as one of the premier providers of sailing vacations all around the world, we want to give you as much information as we can so that you can enjoy your holiday. For the next 3 weeks, we're going to tell you in a slightly shorter videos a little more detail on alternate anchorages in the places that we sent you in the previous series. Or if there are no alternate anchorages in the places we're sending you, a few bits of insider information gleaned from living in the BVI for over 8 years running a fleet. So let's break it down. Welcome back. We're going to leap right in and start with our initial focus on Norman Island, which is where we started in the previous video. We've discussed the primary anchorage, which is down here in the bight, and we also talked about the Indians and Treasure Point for snorkeling in the caves. But what we thought we'd do is we'd talk a little bit about Kelly's Cove. As you're entering the bight on Norman Island, there is on the east side of the entrance Kelly's Cove right here. This is a small and a little secluded spot. There are 5 mooring poles, but they'll fill fast, and then a very small amount of room in which to anchor. As usual, we're going to give the blanket warning to be aware of where you anchor. Please watch out for coral. Never anchor in coral because it devastates it, and then take your time when anchoring here. Make sure your anchor is set in about 20 to 25 feet of water. Then be aware of how you'll swing on your anchor. There's a good solution, and that's to anchor and then run a line ashore from your stern to a sort of a medmoor arrangement. This is both considerate of the small handful of others in the anchorage and a good safety move. Kelly's Cove in here is a great snorkeling spot and is also very close to the Indians and Treasure Point where the caves are. So the Indians are right here, actually right here, and Treasure Point right here where the caves are. And of course the fun and excitement of the bight along with the Willie T and of course pirates on shore. And both are great spots, but when you're up here in Kelly's Cove, you'll be removed a little bit from the shenanigans, yet close, so you can have a peaceful night. Under normal conditions, Sprat Bay is a good anchorage, but if the wind is from the north, coming this way, or actually it can be this way and it'll bounce in, then this anchorage can become a little untenable. Sprat Bay offers no mooring balls, so this is an anchoring only location. The holding is good with a nice sandy bottom, but drop your hook in about 20 feet of water. Pretty much my advice everywhere, 20 feet of water that is. This is a beautiful and very sparsely used anchorage, and frankly perfect for sunset watching with one of our Sundowners of the Month in hand. Quick plug, Proteus Sundowners of the Month is a regular feature on our Facebook channel. There are no facilities in this anchorage, it's just a lovely, quiet location, so Sprat Bay is a great one. That's it for the extra anchorages on Norman Island that we would recommend. You could always look down here at Money Bay, but it's better for the top 2 there. So let's head over to Peter Island now. In our previous episodes, we covered Great Harbour on Peter Island, but there are several other choices for great places to stop for the night. So let's start with the northern shore, going from east to west. Okay? So Deadman's Bay, which is right here. This is a day anchorage at best. We don't recommend overnighting here as it's too exposed, and when there's any sort of wind that doesn't come from the southerly direction, it's awful. There are no mooring balls in here, but the allure of the pristine white crescent beach is like a siren's call to some, but we don't really suggest this as an anchorage. Next one over to the west is Sprat Bay. Sprat Bay is where the marina and Peter Island Resort is. There are 4 mooring balls in here for $65 a night. And that's just the beginning of the story. To use a dock as a transient, get ready to dig very deep. However, as mentioned in the chart briefing, most of the necessary facilities are here for you with the exception of a market. Next, we're going to go past Great Harbour, which is the one that we featured in our video, to Little Harbour. Little Harbour is the farthest west on the northern shore. This is a good anchorage with excellent holding. There are no mooring balls in this anchorage, but if you tuck into the eastern part, you will have great restful night. Make sure you're anchoring about 20 feet of water and the holding is great on the sandy bottom with consideration for the way you swing on the southern and eastern portion, and you'll be all set. It's possible to be backwinded in the night, so make sure you think about where your spot is picked and how you are in relation to others that might or might not be in the anchorage. There are no facilities ashore, but it's well worth it for a quiet night and a little sunset watching with a delicious cocktail in your hands. Next, we're going to go around to what is probably one of my favorite anchorages in the entire BVI, and that's down in here in Key Point. Key Point's on the southern side of Peter Island and is not very well known or utilized. So there's a better than even chance that you'll be one of only 1 or 2 boats in there. Or if you're traveling at the beginning or end of the season, you might even be alone. Just enter the anchorage, which is very straightforward. Just come straight in like this. And tuck up in the northeastern corner in the usual 20 feet of water, keeping an eye out for not anchoring in coral. Please be a good steward of the coral, because the damage that we do takes years and years and years to repair. The holding in sandy bottom is great, and you'll have an excellent night in here. Because this is a little less trafficked anchorage, the fish life and therefore the snorkeling is really good. And because there's excellent wind circulation in the anchorage, it has to be said that it's just about bug-free, which is a really, really nice thing. So this is a great anchorage and we highly recommend it. Salt Island has no overnight anchorages and is, of course, the best place to position yourself to either snorkel or dive on the wreck of the Royal Mail ship, the Rhone, but no anchorages there at all. That concludes our first episode of a more in-depth look at alternate anchorages in the BVI. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. Leave any comments or questions you have below and we'll get right back to you. We'll see you next Thursday for part 2 of the in-depth look at the BVI anchorages. Thanks for watching.